Google ranked their 3 big I/O 2026 AI features for Chrome developers. I run 4 agent projects on a headless home server with 0 browsers in production. And when I re-ranked those same features against real backend workloads, the order completely flipped. If you're a solopreneur running cron jobs, Telegram bots, and invoice pipelines instead of a browser tab, Google's stage order is actively misleading you. In the next few minutes, I'll show you which of the 3 features actually matters for server-side automation, the 2 you can ignore, and the 40-minute config change that killed 3 of my custom HTTP wrappers. I'm Lazar. I ship these systems for clients weekly. Let's re-rank it. Here's what Google actually announced. 3 headline AI updates at I/O 2026. Number 1 on their stage was built-in AI powered by Gemini Nano running directly in Chrome. Number 2 was skills in Chrome, letting the browser execute packaged capabilities on behalf of the user. And number 3, mentioned briefly around the 14-second mark of the recap, was WebMCP. That's the order Google wanted you to remember. Now here's the problem with that order. Google's audience at I/O is web developers shipping features to people sitting in front of Chrome. That's a real audience. It's just not my audience. And it's probably not yours if you're building automations for a small business. The SMB automations I ship for clients live on a Linux server. They run overnight. They read Gmail. They pass invoices. They push to accounting systems. They message Telegram. They trigger on webhooks. There is no human clicking anything. So when Google ranks a feature number 1 because it runs in the browser, that ranking is worth exactly 0 to me. Let me give you the re-ranks. Number 1 for headless server work is WebMCP. The feature Google buried, MCP, the Model Context Protocol, is what my agents already speak. I've been shipping MCP servers for months across multiple client stacks. When Google added WebMCP as a first-class citizen, I dropped it into an existing agent's MCP configuration in about 40 minutes. That change killed 3 custom HTTP wrappers I'd been maintaining by hand. 3 fewer files to babysit. 3 fewer places where an API contract could silently drift. That's a real, measurable win on a real production system. Number 2 is built-in AI with Gemini Nano. This is genuinely impressive engineering. A capable model running locally in the browser, no API call, no cost per token. But if your automation doesn't have a Chrome instance in the loop, you cannot use it. For a client running an invoicing pipeline on a headless VPS, Gemini Nano in Chrome is a feature they will never touch. It's a fallback option if you're already building a browser-first product. For backend SMB work, it's noise. Number 3, dead last for my use case, is skills in Chrome. Same reasoning, more extreme. Skills assume a browser session, a user, and a page context. My automations have none of those. 0 relevance. And here's the lesson I want you to actually take away from this. Platform vendors rank their features for the audience sitting in the room at their keynote. If you're running automations on a server instead of a browser, the I/O ranking is misleading, and the wrong feature will eat your week. We map every major AI release against actual SMB stacks before we recommend anything to a client. See real examples of what we ship at BizflowAI.io.